Okay, it's the D Money Show, and we're back with one of my favorite people, maybe my favorite person in the industry. We got Tina
Oh,
Dixon with Ringlab Media. How are you, Tina?
I am awesome. I hope you and your lovely girl are doing well. I love Deborah to death.
Yeah, she's the best. We're doing
Yes.
great, thank you. So I wanted to dig in a little bit on Ringlab Media, a little bit about Queens, and I think the best way to start would we'll get into Ringlab Media and talk about. I know you've been down. You're like the queen of flights. I hear is kind of like one of your taglines. But I
It,
heard you're pivoting a little or diversifying a little bit lately. So why don't you tell our audience what Ringlab Media is up to?
well, we have traditionally for Ring Lab Media made 6 years old last month. And for the last 6 years, we have dominated the flight industry. We have come up with unique optimizations and routing plans, different campaigns that no one else is using, and it's made us very successful. We went from a small company in 2020 at the height of COVID to we have about 16 employees now.
Wow, that's a lot. I had
Multi-network.
no idea you were that big. That's great.
Yeah, we're growing really fast. We're growing really fast. You know, we did well over 10 million last year. So
Wow, that's
yeah, and
awesome.
so and it's awesome, and we've made a lot of money, and we've done really well, and number one, and we've kept our integrity intact. It's the most important thing in this business. If you don't keep your integrity intact, then you're going to fail ultimately.
Yeah.
And we have really stood on the foundation of integrity and even compliance in the flight industry. We recently tagged an agency of record, and so we work almost exclusively with one major buyer now, which helps us to keep control of the compliance. I know a lot of guys, a lot of media buyers, they'll get into flight because it's a money. You can make a lot of money in flight, but it's hard. It's really hard to make work on Google, and
Yeah.
Meta just doesn't produce the results. But we have a team of people, internal media buys that know how to run flight. And if you want to break into flight, it's a great time. Just reach out to me and I can hook you up with our tech team. Um, but most importantly, we're really working on diversifying right now and bringing home services into the mix.
Oh, that's good. And then, so for people that want to sign up, so they would sign up for Ringlab Media, and
.com.
.com, and then basically you act as kind of like the middle person. It's not
Yes,
your
we're a
own office.
network. We're a traditional affiliate network, except we only do calls, so we're a pay-per-call network.
Excellent.
Um, And so but because I've been in the industry for so long, I have connections with top buyers. And so I decided to utilize that and finally get our home services division launched. We're specializing right now, of course, it's pest control season. I have Terminex and Orkin only once removed, which makes very good payouts. We have it on RTB and static offers. We're also doing roofing and a little bit of HVAC. And then a kind of a little sideline that we've been building for a while is auto insurance. And we have some really good buyers in the auto insurance. So I'm just hoping to have some meetings and meet up with some media buyers that are want to go to the next level and try some of these campaigns with our white glove service.
Yeah. I think one of the most interesting parts of your story is that you didn't really get into the travel thing until COVID. And that seems like such a weird time to get into travel. Why? How did that happen? And how did you explode even through a horrible time with travel?
Well, the thing is that I had been doing travel for 5 years before COVID. And so I had good publishers in place, and these guys were like freaking out, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And so we decided, and then at that time, I broke relationships with the network that I was working with, and my top publisher, BC Smith, who is my current business partner, he said, "Let's build a network." And so in the beginning, it was COVID, it was rough. I remember looking at $40,000 in a month in revenue, and I'm like, we can't make it like this. We can't do it. We can't make it like this.
That's funny.
And before you know it, we're looking at our ring book, and we're like, what the f? But Steve and I talk about this all the time. We're like, what the f? How did this happen? but truly, I know how it happened. It's because number one, we put a lot of hard work and dedication, but number two, I didn't keep that money myself. I gave that money back out to Queens, and we launched the Queens Arise initiative, where we train human trafficking survivors in careers where they can really make a living and not just, do a little 9 to 5 job and barely make ends meet. But I'm teaching queens how to make a living in this industry. We currently have about 15 employees working for Law Logic now. We went into an employment partnership with Law Logic. And so we have ladies that were in our program that we trained in customer service. We gave them job readiness skills. And now they're filled in sexual assault case intake and doing QA on that side to make sure that the leads are ready for the buyers. I was originally trafficked at age 14 by the Dixie Mafia.
Oh,
Um, yes, and from the age of 14 to like 19 or 20, I was involved with the Dixie Mafia. And like a lot of us, I developed a drug problem, and I ended up, going from state to group to trafficker for another like 30 years, basically. And then in my late 40s, about 46, I went into a long-term treatment program and had got a, got me some Jesus and had some really effective trauma therapy for EMDR. And the most important thing is that I got a handle on my ADD, and they finally prescribed me some medication. It'd been really hard for me most of my life to get medication because I had a history of substances. And when I was able to get treated with medication on ADD, I just went wild and I was able to function. I had people in this industry that taught me and mentored me. I got into calls early, probably 15, 16 years ago, before anybody was really doing calls. Um, and I had experience from the adult industry. I started in the adult industry. I built websites. I built escort directories of all things.
that's
And
funny.
so,
I had no
yeah,
idea that you used to be in that industry online. I had no idea.
yes,
That's
that's how
cool.
that's how I broke into it. I broke into the adult sector. And I used and then got me some Jesus and used what I learned for the real thing and the right thing.
I love that. You got me some Jesus.
Got me some Jesus. And look, like once you get you some Jesus, and you try to do the wrong thing, and he's going to speak to you. And that's what's been happening in my life. And it's turned out that after 35 years of addiction and trafficking and the streets and all of that, the adult industry, all of that icky stuff. And today I'm able to have this foundation, and I'm able to have a successful business. And I'm actually building a house right now. I just started my plans for a house. Just got approved for financing. They laid the pad. I'm picking out doors, picking out colors. It's so amazing. And I never really thought in a million years that I would be in this position where I was building a custom home.
Wow. Well, good for you. That's an amazing story. I think for people watching this, they're going to be inspired to say the least. And, it's cool how somebody can start off on one path, but completely change the route of their life and their path. And look at the trajectory you're still on. That's crazy. So,
It's
congrats. I mean,
crazy.
a
And I
true
and I
queen.
will.
What's that?
I will admit my age. I just made 63 in March. And
All
so
right.
it's crazy that I am that age. I don't really feel that age. Uh, I do struggle a little bit. I haven't been into conferences in a while because I've been struggling with my health a little bit. But I'll be at ASE,
Oh, good.
and we will have a Queen's breakfast at ASE at the Garden Restaurant at the Edition Hotel in New York on the 28th. And for Queens, I had to take a break from Survivor Services. So currently we are doing the professional network side, and we're going to be doing some scholarship drives. I have these career training certifications that I'll be giving out to different housing programs that have survivors that are getting ready to transition out. So, and it's $10,000 for four scholarships, and this gives a medical assistant, dental assistant, tech, vet, chef. We have about 12 different certifications. And so I will continue to do that, but I won't do the training. The staff from the last day of my COO is the end of June. And so we'll be really kind of just pausing those services except for the scholarships. Now, and a lot of people hear, oh, you're closing Queens, you're closing Queens. No, we're just pausing survivor services. And then the scholarships are services to survivors, but it's not that hands-on day-to-day stuff. Because frankly, Darren, I just couldn't do everything anymore. I
Oh,
had too much on my plate. And so I decided to throw everything into Ringlab, get home services launched, and then retire in January 2028 and reopen Queens locally in Louisiana and include domestic violence survivors and human trafficking survivors.
well,
But
you've had, I mean, first of all, bravo on a great, career since all the tragedy. I mean,
yes,
obviously in our industry, you're one of the most well-respected people in our space, and that says a lot about your character now. Doesn't matter what you went through then, you're here now, and look at you, you're
right.
amazing and a real inspiration. And and tell me a little bit more about the business lately, because I mean, it sounds really like
It,
you're expanding into new frontiers. What lately, like if somebody were to sign up with you right now, what's the number one niche that you're catering to that's just blowing up right now? Is it still flights?
no, we're doing really well in pest control right now. I've put together some really good relationships with Orkin and Terminex, and I'm able to give pricing that makes sense for media buyers. And so we have those buyers on deck. We have our publishers. I'm looking for publishers. I'm looking for real good, serious publishers, and I have the payouts for them that they need in pest control and roofing. I will say home services is a bear.
Yeah.
I mean, a real bear, because you have to figure out the RTB piece. And the RTB piece is not just as simple as a ping tree like we're used to in the day. It's totally different. And to get it to really be optimized on the top level is very difficult. Um, so, and basically, really, one of the reasons that I paused services at Queens is because it's taking everything that I have to really put this together. But I plan to leave Ringlab when I retire in a really strong position.
And then
And
what's going to happen to Ringlab when you're gone? Are you plan? Are you?
no, I'm going to remain partnership. I'm just going to pay. I'm just going to hire somebody, and I'll be looking for somebody like me to put in my place and pay a salary to, and I'll retire.
That's interesting. I wonder if you'll hire from within the industry or if you're going to scout someone outside of the industry. It'd be
Oh no,
interesting.
definitely. I've had a kind of a hiring problem over the last couple of years. And I think we all do. We all do, it's hard for somebody to come in another culture and they don't always fit in, and they have different principles. They have different ways of doing things. Um and it just hasn't worked out with different, just in a lot of different ways. So I'm really looking for an old timer, an OG. Um, I've been talking to a lot of the OG ladies that are in Link Unite about that possibility long term. But that's what it's going to look like. It's
And
going
it's
to look like
probably going to be a lady, I'm guessing.
absolutely,
So funny.
yeah, absolutely.
A
Because
queen, I'm sure.
a queen, I'm sure,
Yeah.
yes,
Well, that's
yes.
awesome. So let's pivot and talk about the affiliate ball. You've been a big part of it, and I appreciate that you've been supporting. A lot of people don't understand that the affiliate ball is really all about networking. It's about meeting the right people. The reason why
Yeah.
I throw it is I want to put everybody in the biggest room I could find. I want to get all the top people and let's see what happens. And what I found is that most of the biggest deals in the internet probably happen at our events. And there you are, right in the middle at your reserve table, looking up at Too Short behind a rope. What is it like from your
What a
perspective?
night that was. That was
You,
a night. You know, a Too Short is one of my all-time favorites. Back in the early 90s when I was wild and crazy, those were the days that we were bumping on 20-inch rims and having fun all over Vegas. And Too Short was the man of the hour. And so when you brought him in, that really made my day. And I had such a great time. But I'm really excited about what you're doing this year with the whole Shark Tank pitch program. Tell me exactly how that works because I'm intrigued.
every once in a while, like people like yourself, like you got to almost reinvent what you do. And
Mm-hmm.
you realize when you get to a point where things get harder in one niche, and then you want to pivot into another one, right? Like you did
Mm-hmm.
that beautifully lately with your pest control stuff from flights, and
Yeah,
you'll still
yeah.
continue the flights, but the pest control, well, that's great. So I'm going to relate that to what I do. Over the years, I've had a lot of success because I've built a great name with artists, and I've been able to get huge names like T-Pain, Snoop Dogg, Sean Paul, all my favorite artists over the years,
Yeah.
Method Man, you name it. But lately, these artists learned after the pandemic that they can get double their price. So since the pandemic, I've been having a hard time raising the amount of money it takes to do it. And then I'm like, all right, do I put myself out there and risk that I could be on the hook for an extra 50 to $80,000 if somebody
Right.
else
Yeah.
doesn't
Mm-hmm.
sponsor? So I realized now that I had to get creative because it's just hard. I mean, any huge artist you get is going to be well over $100,000 nowadays, well over. And it's just you can't really raise that much money and give the value to your sponsors. So I want to keep the packages at the right price, but at the same time, I want to still have those big names. And what I found is that I could get comedians because I'm kind of tapped into this little underworld of comedy right now. You've
Mm-hmm.
noticed we've had Jeff Ross, Greg Fitzsimmons, Ben Glebe. I get the biggest names in comedy who are especially good with crowd work. So
Mm-hmm.
this time around, I decided, why don't I just pivot a little bit? I realize that people want to network and talk in the room. But if it's like a 20-minute part of the night, I think people should pay attention and, learn something. But what's
Mm-hmm.
fun is imagine having a chance to pitch your service in front of a room of 1,500 of your peers in New York, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
all get to hear what you have, which is great. But the
Mm-hmm.
twist is that we're going to have a panel of judges. One of them is going to be Rich Voss, who's a huge killer. I mean, when I say killer, I'm talking like Kill Tony, he's been on, and these
Mm-hmm.
guys can either rip you apart or make you feel really good, but they're going to have an opinion, which is great. And it's usually funny, almost always funny. So imagine that somebody is like on Shark Tank in our industry, but instead of pitching, those judges, they're pitching a comedian like Rich Voss, myself, who's going to be a judge. We got David Stodolak as a judge. And then our
Mm-hmm.
gold level and our main sponsors have a choice. Would you like to pitch your service? Or would you like to be up there with us as a judge and hold the scorecard and see who wins at the end of the night? So what
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping for is that we'll have enough main sponsors and gold sponsors that want to participate. But if we don't, then I'll ask the crowd, who's got the balls to come up here and pitch your thing, knowing what we're about to do. But the one thing I
Mm-hmm.
know for sure, people have a short attention span for like podcasts nowadays. So like, who knows how many people are going to watch the long form version of this? But
Mm-hmm.
what I know, reels, it's all about the reels. People
It
love
is
short
all about the
form.
reels.
Am I right? I mean, the attention span
It's
today,
absolutely all about the reels. I'm getting ready to start reading my book on TikTok in reels.
see what I'm saying? People, your time is money. So like to sit there and listen to like a 40-minute or an hour when you could see 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there. So what I've learned is that if we could create content at the same time as providing a great way to network, and what's a better way to network than to let somebody pitch their service? So now, as someone in the audience, you've just networked with the biggest people in your space, and you got to hear from them like maybe 5 or 10 different companies. I don't know how many we're going to do, but you got to
Mm-hmm.
learn what they do. So imagine Ringlab's up there telling everybody what you do, and your pitch was awesome. People are going to like probably approach you when you get off the stage and say, I have business for you. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So
Mm-hmm.
everything is designed around performance, right? Because we're performance based marketing. But I've truly put the performance into it, is what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
stay
I know.
tuned.
I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a great night. Actually, it's the first ASE is the first conference I'm going back to since January, since Lead Generation World.
Yeah, I'm sorry
Um,
you had some medical complications recently,
mhm.
but you look great, and I'm so happy you're going to be back in New York because we need you there. We love you.
Yeah, I love New York too. I'm excited. I'm excited to see everybody and shake some. As I say, shaking hands and kissing babies. I miss that. Um, See all my girls, and it's going to be a great time. We'll have that breakfast, and we'll have the affiliate ball, and we'll have a great time. I'm
Which day
excited.
is the breakfast on again?
The breakfast is the 28th, the morning of the 28th at 9 a.m. And we'll have a sign up going out in the Queens groups and on LinkedIn if you'd like to sign in. We usually keep those at about 25 to 27. That's about all we can fit without having to pay big money. So you'll have to sign up quick. But we generally have just the people that are supposed to be there. And we do Law Logic is sponsoring for us this year. They've just become a great partner for us. We Ringlab is actually talking to them about getting some stuff going with them as well. So
For those who don't know who Law Logic is, I believe that's Amy Lawson, right?
right, yes, Amy Lawson, and she's been a great employment partner for Queens. And what they do is that they specialize in law. Right now, they're really big in sexual assault cases and Uber cases. They do some MVA, and surprisingly enough, they're testing some other verticals these days. And so Ring Lab is coordinating with their team there to see how we can work together there since we've had formed such a good partnership with Queens.
Yeah, and also you're both AFI award winners, which says a lot right there.
That's right. That's right. You should look. What happens when that statue gets in the middle? You never know.
Good thing we didn't give you that statue back in the early days. It was shaped kind of funny. People always make
I have one
references.
of those shaped funnies. You don't see it back there?
Oh, is it there?
Yeah, it's on the. You see the shelf back
Yeah,
under the
yeah,
picture
yeah.
with the queen. It's right to the left
Yeah, yeah. I see the little shine and the little, it's
in
catching
the
the
little
light real nice.
shape.
That egg shaped thing, whatever people
Yeah,
compare that to. Well, that's awesome. Well, so congrats on winning an Affy, of course. I remember you won the Heart Award, which is
yeah.
huge. And you won a second one, right?
No, I was up for a second one,
Oh, you
and
were
then
up for a second one. See, I let the
yeah.
people decide. It has nothing to do with me. I don't even know. I just, whatever
Mhm.
goes through our system, that's, how we do it. But I know that you deserve at least two. So
Oh,
you're
all
not
right.
done
Well,
yet.
let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, we'll keep that one in mind. We'll let the people decide. So
Mhm.
anyway, if you want to hang out with Tina in New York when she's back, she will be there for Affiliate Summit. She'll be there at the Queen's Breakfast or brunch. And she'll also be at the Affiliate Ball, which is July 27th. We have Rich Voss, the legendary comedian. I still might add some more talent. I still might get a performer. I don't know, but we'll have EDM music. We'll have a great vibe. I'll be there. And I might sign like a last second big name artist. You never know. It just depends on money raising. And if anybody's interested in getting the word out there on your
Come
company,
on, let's get these sponsors rolling. I know we sponsor every year. I don't
yeah,
think we haven't done the big one yet, but maybe in the coming year, before I retire, maybe we'll throw a big retirement party and we'll be a big sponsor.
let's do that. We won't even need anybody else. It'll just be a Queen's event.
Right.
I'm
Sounds
ready. The
good.
Queen's Ball.
The Queen's Ball.
I'm ready. All right. Well, thanks again for your time and sign up for ringlabmedia.com and figure out how you could scale your company and make more money with pest control and flights and
Hmm.
all kinds of home services. Because I'm excited to see what your big niche will be. Do you have any predictions? Where's the market going? What will be the next big thing in home services?
Well, traditionally, it's going to be plumbing. As soon as we get close to the holidays, we're going to get out of pest control season. We're going to get close to the holidays, and everybody's going to be stopping their sink up with Christmas turkeys and dressing and all of that, and they're going to be calling plumbers. And so, plumbers is always the best thing after the pest control season.
I always find it fascinating what makes the most money in our industry. And, at first it was like debt. Everybody's in debt. That's such a big niche. And then ACA, and it's like, okay, so affordable, healthcare. So, but now you're seeing things like pest control. It makes you wonder what's going on in the country that people need pest control so bad. It's like, are there roaches everywhere? Like, is that the number one thing? Is it roaches? Like, what should I
No,
worry?
but there are bugs, like especially like in the South, the mosquitoes are really have moved away from, I mean, they're everywhere. You live in the West Coast, so you don't really notice that much
Yeah,
because it is like in Vegas, it's the desert. I was so surprised when fleas are a big problem here. And when I was living in Vegas, I didn't even need flea protection for my dogs. So it just depends, and that's why those zip codes are so hot. The
yeah.
zip codes are so hot. It's a zip code based business. They're so hot because where are the mosquitoes at, or where are the roaches at, or where are, the kind of things that what's really interested is animal control. It's like where they come and get snakes and rats and different stuff
That's
out
a
of.
Florida thing, huh? Or Louisiana.
I don't know. I have to send you my alligator clip. I had an alligator off of my housekeeper actually stuck her hand in the water like this, and the alligator just came up to her right off the porch of my Airbnb, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna send it to you."
Wow, I was gonna bite her hand off.
It was coming at her pretty fast, and she lifted her hand up, and I'm like, "Oh wow, so this could be a liability."
Wow. On the pest control thing, so I would imagine that bed bugs, that's got to be like a big thing because it's very expensive, from what I understand, to treat a place because you have to control the whole temperature of a place to get it up to a certain temperature, and it's not cheap
Mhm.
to do. Do you do that as well with your
No,
offers?
I don't think they cover bed bugs. I think there's a different sector of pest control with that. Mostly what they do is they do mice, but then they have, like I said, they have these guys, and there was like TV shows about these large animals where they come and they retrieve snakes, or they retrieve owls in the people's attics, and bats and things like that. But it's a like some of the offers won't take large animals, and some offers want specifically large animals.
Interesting. Wow. Well, this has
Mhm.
been fascinating. If you need an alligator pulled from your place, I know a guy. He
Oh,
captures
I
them with
know a guy too,
I know a
Alex.
guy. He actually, Alex, he captures them with his bare hands, and he did it at one of our affiliate ball meetups. Actually, a couple of them.
I
But
was
one,
there. Remember, I was there.
you were there, right? We did we set loose a 10-foot gator, a 10-foot. We call that a tree shaker. And if you watch Swamp People, and Alex, I said to him, I'm like, are we going to put a fence around you guys while you try to, you rip off the tape and the mouth opens up and you capture it? He's like, no, we don't need a fence. And I'm like, you probably do. I'm like
Yeah, you probably do. He's a little risky.
Yeah, but he said it was like because it was on a hardwood floor, or a deck. You know what I mean? He said that they can't get traction, so they just kind of slip. So it's like in a cartoon where they go and they can't really go anywhere. And then he said, and if they do, I just pull it back by its tail. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's easy. We
Just
don't need.
pull that back by his tail.
Yeah, who
Yeah,
needs a fence then, right?
maybe I'll call him. They're talking about one. Actually, what happened? Funniest thing is sometimes I get groups of workers at the Airbnb because it's out where there's a lot of chemical plants and stuff, and it's the bayou, and so they had a group of workers in there for 30 days, and they were feeding the damn alligators. So now my neighbors are all mad at me because the alligators are coming up over their embankments into their yards.
Oh,
And so we actually have to call somebody out to remove the alligators because it's like a little canal that goes into the river. So it's a kind of a smaller area. Two boats can get through it, but it's not an area where you can want a infestation of alligators. It's people's houses right there. So
wow, it's pretty scary. I mean, I just have to worry about ants outside once in a while, and not even that often. So I'm getting itchy just thinking about all the bugs. I got switch. This
yes.
is a bad conversation. Okay, but let's
Okay.
yeah, let's leave off on. It's not a bad conversation. It was a great
It
conversation.
was fun. It was
Yeah, it
fun.
just took a turn when I got itchy thinking about like bed bugs. I did that to myself. I'm the one who brought that up. But
Yeah, I
anyway,
wasn't thinking about bed bugs.
yeah, now I'm itchy. So anyway, but Ringlab Media, they have the best right now in travel, flight. You're doing anything with flights? She's
We
your
are
girl.
doing a lot too with flights. There's a lot of new things going on with flight right now with specific airlines, seat upgrades, changes and cancellations. We're able to utilize some customer service calls, baggage, a lot of different ways to go about it. We've kind of like created lots of different offers from this one vertical.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. Sign up for Ringlab Media, Tina Dixon. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you,
And
Darren.
thanks for sponsoring the affiliate ball one more time.
Of course.